Challenge. Louis, morning.
Hello, mate.
How are you, mate? You all right?
I'm alright. I just burnt my tongue on my coffee, but other than that, I'm alright.
I faded up at the time. I faded up. If I faded up 5 seconds before, I'd be apologising right now.
Yeah.
So, what have you got there?
Double shot latte, actually.
Oof.
Necessary for this time.
But you wouldn't be thinking a double shot latte would scold so much. But
Well, I've learnt my lesson now, I think.
So tonight's 6-year challenge on X Factor.
Yeah.
So we can talk about that. Let's just talk about, because we got back from Judges' Houses this week. We had a good time. I think you did a great job out there.
Thank you.
You've got 4 exceptional boys. Let's talk about 6-year challenge.
Well, as a contestant, I never had to go through a 6-year challenge, and honestly, I was lucky, because it is brutal. It is absolutely brutal, and even watching from home, there's a certain intensity watching, but actually being in there and then having to make the decisions, it was tough.
Remind me, were you first up? You weren't first up.
No, I think Ida was first. Maybe I was second or third, so at least I got to watch how it went. But it's brutal.
When we first started doing it, and I've never been the biggest fan of it, but when we first started doing it, I just thought, this is, I'm not happy about this. And actually now, at least everyone knows what they're walking into.
Oh, that's true.
And so actually the contestants, when we first started it, were slightly more upset than they are now, I think, because the idea of... Anyway,
before they realised that they might lose the chair, right? Yeah.
So you have 6 chairs, anywhere from 12, 13, 14 people, 15 people auditioning, and if you get a chair... you go through to Judges' Houses. However, no one's safe till everyone has sung, so you can swap people out. So in front of a big arena audience. So it's kind of gladiatorial. I mean, if anything, I suppose you could say that it's good in terms of people understand the pressure of a live show. Yeah,
I mean, in terms of, getting your head round heavy pressure, it definitely, I suppose, helps in the future with that. But yeah, everything, the music, the possibility of losing up your seat.
But when you're in the coalface, when you're doing it, when you're making those decisions, are you thinking at all, as soon as you're quite a decisive person, I think, but when you make that decision, do you go, was there anyone that got away, you thought, God, actually, I probably should have put them through, I'm annoyed that I didn't put them through, or it's sort of still niggling? Yeah,
there was a couple, actually. There was a stage, I don't know if they'll show it, but there was a stage towards the end where I actually genuinely asked Simon for an extra seat. He said no, and then made his own rules at Judges' Houses,
exactly,
obviously, there's 2 guys in particular. One of the guys actually fell off stage, which I'm sure you remember. Yeah. In fact, I've seen a clip of that. You're straight round to hell, thank God. Love that. But that was a pretty epic fall. I mean, to do that on a big moment like it was, that's tough. That's tough.
Tomlinson's our guest today, and he's a judge on the X Factor. It's fantastic you're a judge on the X Factor, Louis.
Oh, thank you. I see you've adopted I need to adopt this voice, the radio 2 soothing, it's quite down here.
Is that not my normal voice?
It's just a little bit softer, it's a little bit more polite.
Probably
the time of morning,
time of the morning. So how have you found it? I mean, when you were offered the gig, did you have any second thoughts? Was it a big sell for you, or?
Well, look, I've always been a massive fan of the show. I've always watched the show, and even after being on it, I've always watched every year, and I always kind of send a little paragraph of notes to Simon to what I thought about it. Yeah, I do. He don't ever listen, but at least he knows that I'm thinking about it.
Welcome to our world.
And my thing was at first I was super excited to get offered the job. It is something that I've kind of been angling for since I've come off the show, to be honest. But the thing to me was, it was important that there wasn't going to be a compromise on my music.
Yeah.
And I think what I'm realising from doing both at the same time is it is a lot of work and it is a lot of hours, but it can be done. It can be done. So I suppose like any job, I was nervous the first couple of days. I was a little bit overwhelmed day one, actually, first day of auditions. Sure. Because I'd not really, it was kind of jumping back in at the deep end. But once I kind of found like I found my rhythm and I knew the format of how everything worked, honestly, I've absolutely loved it. I really have loved it.
I think you've definitely grown into the role as well, because like you said to me after the first couple of days, I remember we had a conversation, you said, I wasn't prepared, as silly as it sounds, to say no to that many people. And saying no, especially when you've been there, done that, it's quite difficult when you're looking in the whites of their eyes, isn't it?
Yeah, and I know I've said a few times, watching from home, I'm judgmental, to be fair. I might be saying, well, I'm not really sure about that cardigan that he's wearing, or his song choice, or whatever it be. But sitting in the seat, Oh, it's intense. It's intense. I just take myself back to, obviously, myself auditioning and thinking about how underprepared I was for that, how bad my outfit was for that, hair, etc. So I can't really be that judgmental, you know what I mean?